Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching one of my narrated Wi-Fi videos. Today's battle is an OU match, I believe, that I had against Bakafront, one of my longtime rivals. I actually met him when I went to a convention, but we've been battling for probably like 2 years now, just kind of on and off. Uh, but this is a team that I kind of put together trying to do something a little bit more interesting, I guess. Um, I don't know with OU, but anyways, though I stayed in right there. I just went for the light screen, expecting him maybe to go for the scald. I think he expected me to switch because he went for hypnosis. Because if he had said been choice scarf, hydro pump, or that type of thing, that would have hurt a lot. Um, and seeing dust claps come in, I'm not really too worried about it. I have my screens up. I know he can probably size me, toss me, or nightshade. He knows that I have magic bounce, so he's not going to use will-o-wisp. Um, and with the wish, I can just see what type of variant he is. It looks like he's the typical specialty defensive variant. He probably has pain split. He shows me plane split right here. It barely does anything though because I have such low HP. He has such low HP. Doesn't really help him out too much. Here I'm expecting him to switch though, seeing that he can't do much. So I was just hoping to double switch out with my screens up and catch something. Figure that I can outspeed with Weavile. I really like using Weavile. I don't really know why I haven't used one before, because last generation it was OU. He brings in his Magneton. I Ice Punch it and it gets frozen, but that didn't matter because I'm just going to outspeed it and kill it with a Brick Break. I was worried that the way he brought it in, it might have been Scarfed, but that didn't end up mattering. Then he brings out his Rosary right here, and I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, he brought it in, knowing how fast I am. I'm just going to bounce back the Sleep Powder. But I didn't expect Sleep Powder. I actually expected him to kind of go for the Scarf, grass type move because my light screen just wore off. Um, and of course, that means two of his Pokemon are asleep now from the Sleep Powder and the Hypnosis. If you Magic Bounce things back, I had to go and look it up. You're allowed to Magic Bounce back two Pokemon sleep moves before you break Sleep Claws. So that's the first time I ever encountered that situation, so that was interesting. He brings in his Dragonite, and I'm able to break the multi-scale, and he Dragon Tails me out into the perfect counter, which is Pokey, which I love Pokey in OU. Quillfish, fantastic Pokemon to use in OU. It does require team support as it's very weak to Earthquake and Psychic attacks, which are very, very common. Um, Here I just kind of stayed in. I didn't know what variant he was because all I have seen from him is Dragon Tail, and I've seen the leftovers. Um, but I just wanted to go for Poison Jab instead of going for Toxic Spikes or Spikes to keep him from getting his multi-scale back. And I figure maybe I can save him. I wasn't really sure. And here he shows me Roost, so I'm like, darn, that means he's one of these bulky ones. And he got his multi-scale back. So I had a chance to really, I could have stayed in there instead of Spikes or something, which you'll see later that those would have really helped out. But just to break his multi-scale again, I stay in and go for Bullet Punch. He smartly brings in Gliscor, knowing that I can't really do much to it. But he goes for Facade, probably expecting me to switch, but I switch using U-turn. I'm getting a lot of crits this battle that don't really matter. It's interesting. Uh, the crit against Dragonite, he just roosted off. The crit against Gliscor here, he's just going to Poison Heal off in 2 turns. So I did think it was interesting that he switched out into Dragonite here. Yes, he could go for extreme speed after probably living the Ice Punch because he seems like he's really, really bulky with leftovers and Roost. Um, but I can just switch out. So I thought that was an interesting switch, and the extreme speed is extremely obvious. I hate that I had to say that like that. Uh, but going on into Psych of the Scizor makes this easy to deal with, and I can either U-turn or Bullet Punch, and I'm just going to Bullet Punch. He brings back in Politoed, which was a good switch, as I don't have up Stealth Rocks, I don't have up any entry hazards of any type, and this will give him a chance to wake up his Politoed. Of course, my Scizor is not Choice Bandit, it is holding the Metal Coat, which allows its Bullet Punches to do a 20% more damage, but then I still have the freedom to switch up moves, which is really, really nice. So here, bring in Soul Lair again, if you all have played Dark Souls, or Demon Souls. Well, not so much Demon Souls, but Dark Souls, you'll know that name, which is why I think it's appropriate for Espeon, especially a male one. He just wakes up and goes for Protect, which that was smart because that Psychic probably would have knocked him out, but I just outspeed him and knock him out anyway, and I got all my HP back. So I'm sitting in a pretty good spot right here. He brings back out Dust Clops, which I was a little bit confused by. I was like, did he not show me one of his moves earlier? Because I didn't, and he just goes for the pain split, which means he was expecting me to switch. So I just ended up staying in and going for the wish, so that if he did pain split a ton of HP from something like my Mandibuzz, who has a lot of HP, I would get the wish, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. Um, but here I'm hoping he'll plane split one more time, and then I can get all my HP back on my Quillfish. But either he saw that coming, or he just randomly decided to change up his attacks. And here's where I could have set up spikes one more time, and I didn't. And that really would have cut down on the time of this battle if I had set up those spikes. But I just went for Waterfall trying to get some damage in for some random reason. I don't really know why. He misses his Will-O-Wisp right there, which since I do run Brave Bird, that actually does matter a little bit. But I don't think I ever used Brave Bird in this match, but it would have been residual damage. And he pain splits again. I'm just trying to keep my high HP Pokemon away from that pain split. I did try to get in Quillfish on that, but I really think he predicted that. Because Quillfish was my only low HP Pokemon, really, besides the Life Orb damage on Weavile. But I have the Reflect up, and so I just want to get in some damage on Gliscor here. As you can see, Psychic is not doing anything. I don't have any special attack investment on this Espeon. And he has Roost, which if you guys didn't know, Gliscor gets Roost from the Black and White 2 move tutors, so now he can have Roost and Poison Heal, which makes him very annoying to try to take out. So I have to deal, I have the Wish and the Reflect up, but as soon as my Reflect goes down, Solera is not going to be able to take these hits from the Acrobat, so I just stay in, throw a Psychic his way, just to get my HP back and do a little bit of damage to him. And then knowing that my Reflect is still up, I can bring in my Chie, the Medicham, who has Ice Punch. So I don't know if he was expecting something else, but maybe he was just kind of death watering his Dragonite right there, which is not too bad a decision really. But here's where he finds out that I'm Scarfed. So I get to Ice Punch his Dragonite in the face, and then I get to Ice Punch Roserade in the face. Unfortunately, Ice Punch, I was really expecting that to kill. I think he's more of a bulky variant. I haven't seen any moves from Roserade except for Sleep Powder. And he not only gets to put to sleep my Medicham, he also gets to set up a layer of Toxic Spikes, which is a little annoying, as I have many grounded Pokemon on this team. Of course, I kind of just threw it together. But, you should always take into account, you need to have certain things to handle certain threats, and you should always generally carry a spinner. Or in this case, I didn't carry a spinner because I had Magic Bounce, but I was afraid it's, playing too predictably can get you into trouble. And so switching Espeon back into Roserade like I did last time might have gotten me into a little bit of trouble. But anyways, though, I'm able to U-turn on his Gliscor as he brings it in, which means I can bring in my Weavile to threaten it out with an Ice Punch. And I do, I was thinking he would go into Gliscor, but if he didn't and he stayed in, he probably would have KO'd me with an Earthquake. And I get a crit on the Ice Punch. Probably didn't matter because I have Night Slash, just seeing how much that crit did. I think Life Orb, super effective stab, Night Slash would have taken him out. Not only that, he has to contend with 2 turns of toxic damage if I didn't take him out. So it's very, very likely that didn't matter. I'm going to preserve Weavile, knowing that he has a few Pokemon left that are weak to Ice. I'm just going to switch out into Mandibuzz, because even if he does go for a Sludge Bomb or for a Leaf Storm, excuse me, Mandibuzz can take those very, very well. He puts me to sleep here. Did that break Sleep Claws? I don't remember. If it did, I don't care. We were having a really good match, and I ended up waking up. Here's why I used Brave Bird. Okay, so if he had hit that Will-O-Wisp earlier, I think that Brave Bird still would have killed this Roserade. My Mandibuzz is a little bit of a weird set. I can't wait till it gets access to Snarl, and we get that Snarl TM, because running a physically defensive Mandibuzz with Snarl will make it very, very difficult to take down. He's going to pay me back for a little bit of my hacks that I got earlier by getting a crit freeze off the Ice Fang. I'm sure that it flinched as well, but we couldn't tell because I was frozen. And I'm still frozen on the second turn. Of course, I think you have 20% chance to thaw out every single turn. He's just going to Ice Fang me to death, as I didn't really want to switch anything in, I don't believe. Because he could have very easily just went for an Earthquake. And my Reflex are not up. So I guess my Medibuzz, had it been burned, it wouldn't have gotten frozen. I don't know. It's neither here nor there, really. I kind of just like to play the matches out. But because I saved my Weavile earlier, even though it's at extremely low HP and it has poison and it's holding a life orb, I'm going to be able to take out Gliscor with a wonderful double down, and that means I'm going to be able to defeat my opponent. So I hope you all enjoyed that match. That OU match was really, really fun, and I actually only ended up using 2 OU Pokemon. Um, so I am interested. What types of Pokemon from lower tiers, like I mentioned in the battle, I like to run Quillfish in OU. Kind of like how you guys see me run things like Weezing in OU all the time, just because they take those physical hits from common things like Terrakion so well. So if there's lower tier Pokemon that you all like to run in OU, I'd be interested to hear them. If you all enjoyed this battle, please be sure to let me know. I love reading your all's comments. If you all haven't seen, I uploaded a Pokemon Cypher, which is like a Pokemon rap type thing to DJ Westlake, I think. And I also uploaded an EV training tutorial, so if you all are interested in those, I will link those in the description, and be sure to go check them out. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great, what's today? It's Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. So I hope you all have a great hump day. Have a good rest of the week if your week started off crappy. And if it started off well, carry that momentum into the next day. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye now.